Exactly. Well, let's talk about what is it? Petco Health and Wellness. Now, Petco is like, I want to buy the stock because I love pets, I love my dog. Let's tell you what happened with Petco. Their symbol is WOOF. Question is, should you buy it now? Well, we'll go with the numbers here for you. They're in the specialty retail industry. Short float, 30%. 30% of the shares are shorted. We do see that they have no PE ratio versus 19.8. And that's for the industry, as again, specialty retail. Price to sales looks good, 0.1 versus 0.7. Price to book value, 0.6 versus 3.4. I will point out there's no price to tangible book value, so that would be a problem. Price to cash flow looks good, 4 versus 8.6. They do have a PEG ratio of 1.6, which is surprising to me. No earnings over the last year. Sales were down, not by a lot, down 2.4%. Industry was up 3.1. Well, this is a shocker. The 5-year earnings per share growth estimate from the analysts, 19.7. They're looking for a big turnaround in this stock, and I don't see why. I'm not getting it. They do not pay a dividend. Let's take a look at the balance sheet here. Current ratio, 0.9 versus 1.6. Debt to equity, 2.6 versus 1.3, so that's not good. We don't like a debt to equity above 1.4. They also have a lot of intangible assets. 39% are intangible assets. Net profit margin, a negative 1.1 versus a positive 3.4. Return on equity, a negative 6 versus 21.4. Free cash flow, 47. I think that's probably 47,000 maybe versus a 1.3 billion.
Probably 47 million.
Well, yeah, probably 47 million. Yeah, 47 million. What do you got, Chase?
Yeah, so current price here for Petco, again, their ticker symbol is WOOF, is $2.47, and woof. The performance has been terrible.
What a dog.
The year-to-date return down 35%. And it looks like, gosh, they kind of became, I know they were public. They went private, then they came public again. Back in 2021, it looks like the stock was around $27-ish a share. And since then, it's just been downhill. Yeah. Just not good for shareholders of Petco, unfortunately. But going forward for the business, we go out to, let's see here, January 2027. This is interesting. Estimated earnings per share here of 18 cents. It gives it a target sell price of $2.99. So the forward PE is actually under 14.5 times. And this is kind of what parlays into the huge EPS growth rate that you said. They're looking for earnings per share growth from 2026 to 2027 of 99%. So what is changing with this business that is allowing them to all of a sudden produce higher earnings, yet sales are actually estimated to only climb by about 1.4% that year?
I don't get it. I'm scratching my head. I'm going to take a quick look at the balance sheet to see here, because I think this company is just laden with debt here. I don't know why you'd be investing in this company. And yeah, it sounds good. Like, $2.50 to get the stock for. What a great deal. Let's take a look at their debt. They got long-term debt, $2.6 billion. That's not too bad. Their equity is they even have equity of $1.1 billion.
I'd be curious, I guess, a little bit more on their debt coverage ratio. So can their cash flow cover their interest? When is that debt coming due? I mean, I would never buy a company of this nature because, again, I just say the debt to equity is 260%. That's just way too high for me. But if this company did find its way out, I mean, this could be a huge, huge gainer. But again, that's a huge risk. That's not how we invest for our clients, for our personal selves, because your options are the stock goes way up or it goes to zero. Yeah. And I don't like to play that game. And I was going to say, on a personal note, I went to the Petco in Poway, actually, for the first time probably since I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And they totally revamped the inside. They kind of made it look more modern, I would say. But I was so disappointed. I took my daughter there because we wanted to take her to go see, just some animals, like maybe some fish. And they had no animals there. What? There was no fish. There was no cats. There was no turtles, or a very small selection of betta fish was the only thing we saw there. And I was like,
well, she was disappointed.
Yeah, she was not happy. She did find these little toy dinosaurs at the front, so at least she got a little enjoyment out of that. But
they used to sell that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just the Poway location, because they did have, they maybe more grooming, and they had the vet health, or right. Petco is what they call it, I guess. They had that in there, so I wonder if they had to kind of peel space away to take care of that. But I don't know if that's idiosyncratic in terms of that one location, but I was definitely just kind of disappointed from the standpoint of it didn't accomplish what I was hoping for.
Where would you go buy a pet and fish and stuff like that? Then I mean, because I've gone into Cahoots when I had a dog, and they didn't. I don't think they had it there either.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I maybe that's not where the money is, but not helping out Petco.
Yeah, they gotta figure something out here though. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, I was blown away by this. The market cap is now $725 million. I mean, I definitely thought this was a company just by the name alone that would at least be a multi-billion-dollar company, and again, pretty small.
And this is again why we say, people say, "Oh, buy what you know." No, you don't know this company just because you like dogs or cats or animals. You don't step in and buy a Petco because of the fact that it appears. I mean, especially if you bought it 3 years ago, you've lost about 85%, I think, of your money.
And this is a long shot, so please do not buy it because of what I'm about to say. But the only thing that I could see saving this company is a GameStopification of this
GameStop,
company.
you're bringing them up.
Because when you look at it, GameStop was very similar. It was a dying business. Cash flows were declining. They were running into issues. And then all of a sudden they had this huge short, Petco, huge short. Then all of a sudden you get this huge short squeeze. Company starts issuing stock to pay off debt. That is like the only thing I can see that could really be a big benefit to Petco. But that is a far reach, and I would never base an investment thesis off that.
Yeah, that's definitely a gamble. I think your odds would be better at the craps table in Vegas than buying Petco, but be warned. So,